Welcome to Smartsheet Formula Basics Part 1. Operators. Operators specify the type of calculation that you want to perform on elements in a formula. Operators in Smartsheet include both arithmetic and comparison operators to handle both mathematical calculations and logical evaluations. The first operator we are going to look at is the addition operator, or plus sign. When I add a new formula, I start by inputting an equal sign, then add numbers, functions, and operators as needed. For this first example, I am going to add a 1, then our plus sign, then another 1. When I click out of the cell, the formula evaluates the operation, and the cell value updates to 2. We can also reference cells that have numbers as part of the formula. After I add my equal sign, I am going to select the cell that has a value of 100. The reference to the cell, which is the column name, number values, and the row number, which is 1, will be added to my formula. I am then going to add my plus sign and then type the number 1. When I click off, it evaluates the formula and returns the number 101. I can also add two cells together. After I enter the equal sign, I select the first cell that has a value of 100, and it will show the reference to the cell in the formula. I add a plus sign and then can reference the other cell, which has the value of 10 to get a total of 110. Addition can also be applied to dates, so I am going to change the add column to the date data type to show you a few examples. I am going to select row 1 under date values, then add a plus sign, then type the number 2. This will add 2 days to our date. You can also use a combination of date cells and number cells. I am going to select row 2 under date values, then add a plus sign, then select the cell with the number 10. This will add 10 days to our date. The second operator we are going to look at is the subtraction operator, or minus sign. Similar to addition, let's look at a few examples using the subtraction operator. I am going to add a 2, then a minus sign, then a 1. The formula returns a value of 1. We can also use cell references. I am going to select the cell with the value of 10, then use my minus sign, then enter the number 3. This returns the expected value of 7. Now I am going to reference two different cell values, first selecting the cell with the number 10 again, using our minus sign, then select the cell with the value 3. This also returns 7. Now let us try some more date examples. I am going to first reference a date cell, then type my minus operator, then type the number 7. This returns the date that is 7 calendar days before May 16th, which is May 9th. Now I am going to reference the date cell corresponding to August 14th, then type my minus operator, then select the cell with the value of 10. This returns the date that is 10 calendar days prior. The next operator we are going to look at is the division operator, which corresponds to the / symbol on your keyboard. We can use number values, 100 divided by 4, and the formula will return 25. We can use a combination of cell references and manually entered numbers. We can reference the cell with the number 10 and divide it by 2. This returns the expected value of 5. We can also use two cell references. If we take the cell with the value of 100 and divide it by the cell with the value of 10, the formula returns the expected value of 10. The next operator we are going to look at is the multiplication operator, which corresponds to the asterisk symbol on your keyboard. We can use number values, 25 times 2, for example, and the formula will return 50. Continuing to build upon what we have learned so far, we can use a combination of cell references and manually entered numbers. We can reference the cell with the number 10 and multiply it by 2.5. This returns a value of 25. Using two cell references, I can multiply 10 and 3. This returns the expected value of 30. The next operator we are going to look at is the exponent, which corresponds to the caret symbol. If I type in 2, then the caret symbol, then 2, the formula will execute this as 2 to the second power, or 2 times 2, returning 4. I can also reference the cell with the value of 10, then the caret symbol, then type 2. The formula will execute this as 10 to the second power, or 10 times 10, returning 100. I can also reference the same cell twice. If I reference the cell with the value of 3, then type the caret symbol, then reference that same cell again, the formula will execute this as 3 to the third power, or 3 times 3 times 3, returning 27. Switching to some logical operators, the next operator we are going to look at is the less than operator. These operators can be leveraged when you need to evaluate logical expressions within your formula. We are going to be using the if function to look at how these logical operators work. After typing equals and then typing if, for the logical expression argument in the if function, I am going to type 5, the less than sign, and then 2. If that logical operation holds true, I want my formula to return yes. If it is false, I want it to return no. This returns no since 5 is not less than 2. Similarly, we can evaluate the value in a cell and see if it is less than 2. Since 3 is not less than 2, this also returns no. We can also use logical operators to compare cells. If the value in row 3 is less than the value in row 2, I want it to return yes. Since the 3 is less than the number 10, it does return yes for this formula. The next operator we are going to look at is the greater than operator. I am going to use the same examples from the less than operator, but change the formulas to be the greater than operator. Typing 5, the greater than sign, and then 2, I should expect this formula to now return yes since 5 is greater than 2, making this logical expression true. Now let's reevaluate the cell value from numbers value row 3 and see if it is greater than 2. This now returns yes. Now let's check the value in the row 3 to see if it is greater than the value in row 2. Since the 3 is less than the number 10, it now returns no for this formula. The next operator we are going to look at is the greater than or equal to operator, which combines the greater than symbol immediately followed by the equals sign. To demonstrate the difference between greater than and greater than or equal to, I am going to first create a formula that will return yes if 3 is greater than 3, and no if that is not true. This does return no. However, if I update the formula to evaluate if 3 is greater than or equal to 3, it then returns yes since they are of equal value. The next operator we are going to look at is the less than or equal to operator, which combines the less than symbol immediately followed by the equals sign. I am going to use the if function and, as the logical expression, check to see if the value in number values column row 1 is less than or equal to the value in number values column row 2. I am going to drag the formula down. It has updated the formula to look at the values for rows 2 and 3 now instead of rows 1 and 2. I can change the values of the cells in the number values column being referenced in formulas. When I do this, the formulas automatically update and change the values to yes or no as appropriate. The next operator we are going to look at is the equal to operator. In my if function for my logical expression, I am going to select the cell that now has the value of 1, type in an equal sign, then type in the number 1. If this is true, I want the formula to populate the cell with yes. If this is false, I want a cell to populate with no. Since 1 does equal 1, we see the cell populate with yes. If I change the value in the cell from 1 to 2, the cell with the formula will update to no, since 2 does not equal 1. We can also compare two cells. I'll write a formula to evaluate if number values column, row 1, is equal to number values column, row 2. Since 2 is equal to 2, which are the current values of those cells, this formula will return yes. The final operator we are going to look at is the not equal to operator, which is written as the less than sign immediately followed by the greater than sign. I am going to copy and paste the formulas we created for the equal to operator, changing the equal to the not equal to operator within those new formulas in the not equal to column. The logical expression will now evaluate and show the opposite result of the previous formulas as anticipated. If CloudWave can help your business with Smartsheet or any other application we support, please visit our website and reach out to us.